So I know we visit the Mono Green Devotion Shell from time to time. For a long time now, I've been slamming the Leyline Scion package into the deck with lots of different packages. Sometimes Ugin's Labyrinth, sometimes we're playing like the Green Overlord. Just kind of addicted to those starts where you slam a Leyline into play, and you can even go like turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, turn 2 Nykthos, 5 mana. Those games are awesome, and those games are really powerful. That version is certainly really inconsistent. And recently, I've become a little bit enamored with this package. We had this green-white build that we honestly still need to explore some more, but we had this green-white build that's really in on this package: Fanatic of Rhonas, Outcaster Trailblazer, and Greensun Zenith. It may be a little innocuous, but what's really cool is if you go Fanatic into a 3-mana creature that is 4 power, then you can go tap Fanatic for 4 mana, and then Green Sun for another copy, and all of a sudden on turn 3, you're like really ahead on board. You've got your card advantage engine going. If you go Fanatic into specifically Trailblazer, then you could Green Sun X equals 4. Not that we have a powerful 4 drop. That's more for the Gear Hulk deck, right? But I think that there's like a lot of interesting overlap here with this package. And also, like, when you play Green Sun Zenith, you don't really need that many more creatures. It would be really nice to have something else. Ogre Troll, I think, is solid. Would be nice for it to be a bit stronger, but Kiora, Trailblazer, both draw cards when creature's power 4 or greater enter. Green Sun gives you redundancy, and then Fanatic taps for 4 mana when you have that creature power 4 or greater. Obviously, and then so like the way I think this has to be built now is that there just really isn't one more good piece of this puzzle. It's functional, but you also really want to keep an eye on this as you go forward, because it's possible another card gets printed that really complements this package. But instead of having those things, you just have things that kind of put more of this into play, between like Malevolent Rumble, Storm of the Festival. Now, I wasn't sure that this deck was going to make the stream, but I just kind of discovered that Titania is nuts in this deck. As it turns out, Titania has like a lot of weird kind of combo-y interactions, but I found myself really often using Titania to reset a Nykthos. So I would be able to go Titania, get back a Nykthos, legend rule the Nykthoses. When those Nykthoses legend rule, Titania triggers, making a 5/3, and those 5/3s all draw cards for my Outcast Trailblazers and my Kioras. And with those cards, I'm able to just continue the loop. I'm able to like cast Storm the Festival, find another Nykthos, trigger Titania, draw a bunch more cards, and just continue to put Trailblazers into play with the Kiora and just really, really pop off. The one of Titania was really, really nice. I was also playing a Terastodon yesterday that didn't really end up coming up very often. And I was playing one Terastodon over 4th Kiora, and I missed the 4th Kiora. I actually thought I had it, and then I couldn't combo off because, or I could have, but I just decided I have one more Kiora. I'm just gonna cast Storm the Festival with and flash it back with 10 cards left in my deck, and then there wasn't another Kiora or a Nykthos in there, and I could have won a different way. Wander Ponder or Wander There Yonder with the 11 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, I got deceived. Seeking food combos mostly like Pippin plus Confiteer or Samwise. Still just very mana intensive. Like at the very least, you're spending 8 actual mana on it. Like it's Merfolk? Yeah, this is why we need to go back to the Yellow Forests that were universally loved. You mentioned a few times you think Shaman is a safe unban. I may have missed early in the stream. Would I mind elaborating a bit on this? In my head, Shaman is the best 1-drop ever printed. Graveyard Hate, Life Gain, Metaphor. Yeah, I do. Oh, dude, they have the Tide Shaper. I guess it's not that bad. Yeah, I understand. Shaman is very, very good. To say that it's the best 1-drop ever printed, I think it's just not true anymore. Is my main thesis here. I think that Ocelot Pride, Guide of Souls, Tamio are all similar power levels to Deathrite Shaman. In fact, I would even say Guide, Pride, Tamio are more powerful than Deathrite Shaman, but Deathrite Shaman is more versatile, and it gets Green Sun Zenith, and it's also something that can go in a lot more decks because it's hybrid mana cost, and it goes in a lot more archetypes in general. So certainly some give and take on this topic, I guess, but yeah, I think I'm just casting the troll. So there's this, and it doesn't necessarily, to me, it also doesn't feel like Guide, Pride, Tamio are format breaking. But this whole shaman is the best 1-mana creature ever printed. This is something that it's kind of a boomer attitude. Like for the longest time, you might not remember this. Oko's probably not even a good card to say this about, but people would legit argue that Jace was better than Oko for a long time. And I would also say to people that Karn, the Great Creator, is a better Planeswalker than Jace. And I got pushback on this for literally years. People have this bias towards old, powerful cards. And Deathrite Shaman is certainly still a very powerful card. It certainly would see a lot of play. However, I think that it would not be format breaking. I think if the format becomes about Deathrite Shaman, I think this is a good dynamic, a dynamic I'd like to see more of. I think that both black and green creature decks could use a buff. I also have been, but I would say probably the biggest part of this thesis, this idea of unbanning Deathrite Shaman, is that I have this thought, and I think maybe Wizards has this thought, I don't know, that Modern could be better if the format became more about old, classic, powerful Modern cards versus Horizon cards and combining them in interesting ways. I think that this is something that my mind kind of became focused this way after the looting and the Opal unban, but I really like having these cards in the format. I think that they're fun. I think they lead to a lot of cool deck building in a similar way I think that Deathrite Shaman would as well. So I put draws 2, and they put a counter on everything. First time seeing this card activated. So yeah, again, this is just kind of part of my my thesis. Did I see a professor's video about Underworld Breach? No, a lot of people talk to me about it. I agree that Underworld Breach is going to get banned. I love that Jesse won the RC, but I did not watch the video. Maybe I should. Okay, so we milled over a Storm the Festival. I think I'm taking Mortuary. So next turn, yeah, I think I'm just going to get the Portal to Phyrexia. Kind of scared of a 0-mana counter, though. Seems like a pretty good Wintermoon. Oh, no, though, yeah, the Wintermoon would have been sick. Yeah, Wintermoon was definitely the call there. LSV thinks Mopal should be banned. I mean, I'd love to hear the arguments too. This is something that I think gets a little lost in the sauce. This person thinks that person thinks this. I'd love to hear the reasoning. I have not heard a single good argument for just banning Opal first, in my opinion. Not that there isn't one out there, but it's I think everyone can agree Breach is an egregiously designed card, one of the worst designed cards ever. It is just. It's just one of these, what the hell are they thinking, 2019, 2020 level cards. And, sorry, I'm taking how I might block here. And I don't think that I certainly don't think the format gets worse with Underworld Breach being banned. And I think that seeing what Mox Opal looks like without Breach in the format is to me, that's a pretty interesting thing to do. I think that is something I would like to see. So I block like this, I have 1 extra mana, 4, 5, 6. But I certainly think there could be an argument, and I would like to hear it, but... That's not always saying he thought Wizards was likely to ban Opal. I mean, to me, it doesn't seem like Wizards is likely to ban Opal since they just unbanned... They just unbanned it. I think that they would be more likely to ban the Breach instead. But it's, again, Wizards does things at random. And this is why I never try to predict what Wizards is going to do. I think trying to predict what Wizards is going to do is usually an exercise in futility. It's not something I think is very productive because Wizards really will just kind of do whatever comes up in their meeting that probably happens like the morning of or the day before. So they get Island Walk. And they can attack with just this one, and they can kill my... Okay, they missed that they could attack with this. Yeah, I want to probably prioritize getting my hand empty, so let's go ahead and cast this portal. Talk about a new sidecast. That card seems great. There's a lot of this video is going to be a long video. I'm very excited. Welcome to Phyrexia. Oh no, they're tide binding. Cool. So I've got 2 Storm the Festivals in the yard. I did not see the new sword. How is there even room for new swords? I thought we basically were sorted out at this point. Did I forget to plus Karn? Maybe I don't. You're right, I did forget to plus Karn. Sorry about that. So you just use as much blue mana as possible here. So untap the Fanatic, and then I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess better to play the land. So it is actually a bit awkward if I get 2 trolls and I draw 2 cards. Although I guess they would only be able to attack with 2 creatures. I think instead we'll just get another Fanatic. Okay, so Dragon Fireblade, tutorable by Urza Saga. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. It has hexproof and hexproof from monocolors, so the Rockrick ability. Equip 4 costs 1 less to activate for each color the creature targets. So the obvious application is in Domain Zoo with Leyline of the Guild Pact. This card costs 0 to equip, which is pretty interesting, and is 1 mana. However, hexproof for monocolored, I guess, is not that relevant. It's kind of like backup Scion, I suppose. Make sure I get this untapped, that they're not going to, like, do anything to that. The card seems pretty good. So I could make like white mana, and then I could explosives X equals 3. That would kill my bridge, that would kill my Kiora, and that would kill my trolls. Although killing my trolls is kind of just not that big a problem. Unlocking the Nykthos seems powerful enough. Obviously, a lot of options here. Could be a better line, but I think this seems good enough to me. Guess I lose my Trailblazer too. I think it's okay. So I guess playing this is free. Yeah, it unlocks the portal, which is a little bit less important, I guess, but not unimportant. And I suppose I actually should be... Oh, sorry, I forgot that the troll doesn't make it tap for 1 more mana. It gives it the ability to tap for 2, so I should have spread them out. So we've got 1 less mana here. But I would think I want to activate this first, so that if I hit 4 power creatures, I get to draw more cards, and if I hit another Kiora, it's okay. So there's a Karn, and there's a Trailblazer. We gotta get another Nykthos instead. Yeah, another Nykthos seems like a bit too good to pass up on. Now, do we think our opponent could ever possibly deal with a Walking Ballista? I don't know. I just kind of want to show it to them. I guess I don't actually have the 34 mana right now, but I'm about to put a Titania into play. And I'm excited to show you guys this loop. So this is really what made me want to play this deck today, was the ability to go Titania, get back a Nykthos, and then Legend Rule the Nykthoses, and then trigger my Kioras and my Trailblazers. Like this dynamic has felt really powerful so far. But it woke up with something here. Doing a green sun for another Trailblazer. Seems okay. It's basically only 2 mana because we get... So it costs 4 at front, and we get 1 back from the Trailblazer and 1 back from the Nykthos. Any thoughts on returning to Time Sieve? Eddie, I feel like you ask me like every week about the Time Sieve deck, and I tell you that I have returned to it, and I'm not that interested in playing it again. I'm sorry. I wish I was. But I actually just don't think that those are the best builds of Asmo or Box Opal or just kind of anything, unfortunately. So I guess I get Burst here. Even with even with Monument, I'm just not interested, unfortunately. Like, it's just one of those decks where it feels like every time I circle back to it, we're just repeating history. I guess should probably be getting the Chain Veil as part of this loop, but this is infinite mana, and I've shown them the Ballista, so I'm kind of just not that interested in showing them any extra cards. Oh, no, the burst is gaining them more life. I forgot about this part of the stupid loop. All right, I'll get the Chain Veil. Yeah, it does feel like they have something, although it's kind of weird that they haven't felt like they want to get that something yet, you know? I guess actually maybe what's easier than this, because of course time is... Wait, where did my sideboard go? It's just an infinite mana combo that isn't gaining them some life passively that I have to click through. Just just going through all of the combos. We could, and this is also for you, the viewer, to see to see how this works. Oh no, sorry, I forgot that this key. This happens every time I circle back to this combo. I hold W. W taps it for the first ability. This happens every time I play this combo again. W taps for just the first ability, which is the ability to make 1 mana instead of 4. And so I'm holding W, and I'm like passively going down on mana. It's so funny. Obviously, I play this combo like every 5 months or something. And... Oh yeah, Stonebrain them. That usually gets an actual concession, and we get to see their deck. To certainly some decision paralysis here. In order for me to Stonebrain them, I would have to Chain Veil though. I'd have to Chain Veil and get the Karn ticked up. I don't know if that's even worth. The other one was faster. Yeah. Maybe they forgot I have this Ballista in my hand. I do have another Kiora on tap. Do you just have something to trample? I have a Ballista in my hand. You can Kiora it with the existing Chain Veil activation. I know. Yeah, I know. I can. Are you talking about untap the Chain Veil? I understand that. It's. I also understand I haven't done this in nearly the most efficient way, but I'm about to put a Lethal Ballista on the stack and see if they have been sandbagging something, and we can go from there. Now seems like a good time for us to submit cool decks for you to look at. Well, it's kind of hard to click and look. Okay. A ping. Sounds like the dogs are getting into something. Hold on. All right, going to game 2. Nice to beat Merfolk. These matchups are usually not super good for big mana decks. All right, let's go. Yeah, only down 2 minutes. Play a lot of Merfolk in Historic, and in that format, Merfolk versus Green is basically 50-50, mostly based on if Green opens and nuts, yeah. Play draw, I imagine matters a lot too. Dismember is pretty nice. So if I cast the Kiora, they can counter it by just sacking a single thing. The Trailblazer seems like just... maybe I should have cast in... I should probably cast this and the Arbor Elf, actually. Did you ever finish the TTRPG you're developing a while back? It's been in development for almost 2 years, and we're still working on it. It is not something we're planning on having finished anytime soon still. So this is 6. My opponent has 9 damage next turn. I guess the play this turn is probably to play Trailblazer and Eternalize Fanatic. Double Dismember pretty good. Okay, new card, Sage of the Skies. When you cast a spell, if you've cast another spell this turn, copy this spell. Flying Lifelink. So for 3 mana, you get 2 3s with Flying and Lifelink. Not phenomenal, but kind of interesting. Okay, opponent's had a pretty good curve. Block here takes 7. Stars takes 6. Yeah, Fanatic's such a strong card. I'm very interested in figuring out homes for it. This has been quite a good show for it. Okay, not another 0 mana counterspell. We're dead to a Sink, we're dead to a Dismember, we're dead to a Floodpit's Drowner. Beyond that, we're doing pretty good. I guess we're dead to... No, they don't have Island Walk anymore. Alright, Exact Seized. On the play should be a lot better, though. WotC printing a Mix-In set that cares about casting 2 spells in a turn is pretty crazy. Oh, a Mox in a set. Well, I mean, the Mox is pretty underpowered, but we'll see, I guess. Alright, this hand looks nice. Hopefully they don't have double Dismember again. Also, we have the Yavimaya, so if we're lucky enough to draw a Nykthos, we can untap it with Arbor Elf. Okay, turn 1 Tideshaper. I think I'm going to play around another Tideshaper. Just cast Rumble and Arbor Elf here. This way we can still cast Storm the Festival next turn if they have another Tideshaper. Thought Spike was only playing 8/4 power creature turn Rhonas at first glance, but Embalm enables itself. Yeah, but we also have 4 green suns, so it's like we have 13 if you count the Titania, which I think you should. Which is pretty good. Alright, successfully played around Tideshaper number 2. So this is our forest. Oh wait. This is our forest. I guess we're casting this like this. Resolved, good. Not the most powerful, but nice thing about Storm is it flashes back, of course. Yeah, they're all forests now, but we want to put it on the actual basic forest in case they have Harbinger. Do you think Knight's Future Revenge is worth looking at again with Opal and Rumble as upgrades? I mean, I've looked at it. You also, you know, there's a few other small things, but I haven't been that excited about it, and I have tried it. I have tried several times to no avail to like get excited about it or find a version interesting enough for the stream. Mind Spring Merfolk. Let's go, dude. I mean, if they just can counter my Storm, which doesn't seem the most likely, but if they can counter my Storm and I don't draw anything, we're not in very good shape. Have a lot of good top decks, of course. That one's not so bad. Just trying to think if there's... Yeah, I think it's correct to just cast this first. Could maybe bait the counterspell, because they could think that I only have 9 mana here, when really I have millions and millions of mana, because I can untap this a bunch. And if I hit another Nykthos off by Storm, if it resolves, I get an extra 5/3. I think I'll float the mana here. When talking about Shape Anew or other ways to cheat Artifact, you often mention we don't have a really good artifact to cheat, so what would be a good design for big artifact to cheat? I mean, I'm not sure. I was thinking something similar to Archon or Tyrant. Yeah, it's just, I don't think I want to custom Magic one of these right now, but I agree that something like this would be nice, because there's a lot of fun things you could do with it, but... I agree it would have to be similar to that power level, but again, just not going to custom Magic right now. A lot of good options. Probably going to go for Chain Veil first. Ballista wins. Ballista likely wins. I'm just trying to think of the best way to do this. Let's go ahead and just draw a card. Okay, so missed out on some mana here, I guess. We've got a lot of extra mana now. So I kind of want to be able to... I should be able to get 2 things with Karn. So I can go plus... And I have another Karn activation that can grab me Ballista. And then I can go minus here again. Activate this again. And I can just go minus for... Let's just do Cityscape Leveler. That'll win the game for sure. Try not to overcomplicate it. Cast the Leveler... Yeah, I don't think we had 40 mana to win with Ballista, but I didn't count, but also we can't lose, so there's that. Yeah, it looks like I also forgot we had the attack. It's okay. This game's over. We don't need to spend any more time here, really. Okay, did not trophy the cube. Pay out that prediction. You could have full combos since you could chain build your Kiora all the way down and burst back along with card not needed. Yeah, it's just so many clicks, and they gain so much life along the way. that's true. Any consideration for Mindslaver? Mindslaver is something we have played in this archetype. What am I dropping to PowerPoint? As soon as I can. I haven't started. I just did a YouTube video last Saturday. I'm unsure what day I'm going to start working on it. Yeah, there's some good stuff in Duskmourn. It's so funny to see how hype you've been for all these standard sets and so miserable at Image 3. Yeah, it's interesting. But I talked about this in my latest YouTube video. It's like the way that they've been approaching adding stuff to Modern via standard sets has been really cool. They've done a really good job, I think, of giving just a little bit of juice, a little bit of spice, like fun build arounds every standard set. I think it's been like really appropriate. Yeah, I guess Duskborn was also pretty hype. Yeah, maybe I'm too low on it. Why are people so excited for Songcrafter Mage? Harmonize doesn't reduce the colored pips. Yeah, it doesn't, but like in theory, this card costs 3 and reduces a cost by 4. But I agree that it's mostly going to be good with pretty expensive cards, which isn't exactly a glowing review. Dude, I'd love to draw 3 Utopia Sprawls in my opening hand. Does Songcaster's Mage work with Tezzeret's Gambit? I would imagine it does, yeah. Can we make the mana work for a Temur spell plus Kozilek's command? Oh, I finally playtested Eldrazi Ketramos last night. It was pretty mid. but I did get to go double Devourer and then play a Ketramos, and that felt pretty good. Can I cast both of these? I don't think so, right? 7, 8. Too short. I think I should cast. I don't know. It's kind of close whether or not I'm supposed to cast this or not. I think I am. Oh, to Coco to Songcrafter, Cocoing it for green. Yeah, it seems a bit more reliable to maybe use Chord of Calling for that. But I agree. This sounds pretty fun. What if we storm before Nykthos? Well, it's just never resolving, but might have been right. Yeah, Songcaster Lore revealed is pretty cool. I agree. So they have Prismatic Ending. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. I think I'm getting Wintermoon. Let's mean like Karn for some action instead of leaving this in play. There's White March. Okay, so they White March the Moon, pitching into Fairy, so we get at least a 3-for-1 here. Gibson Fact, yeah. Definitely a lot of nice stuff. Would you? Yeah, I saw this card. 2 white, put 2 flying monks into play. They have lifelink too. I don't know. I don't know about that card. I don't know. That card could end up being just playing really well. I'm having a hard time evaluating it. They don't bounce a Sprawl. I have 7 mana, right? Backup Karn's probably worth keeping. What am I doing for 7 mana, though? I like 8 so I could Cityscape level. I guess if I graveyard this with lands and spells are good draws, I probably should graveyard it. Kiora also lets me do the thing. Maybe a little greedy to not tap the Nykthos. Okay, so I can get Titania and Windswept Heath if I wanted to activate the Nykthos. Okay, a Trailblazer lets me activate because of the mana, of course. Yeah, I want to really hammer this point. We're playing this deck today because of the Titania interactions in the Devotion Shell. I know we're only playing 1 Titania, but in our Green Sun deck, I don't think you want to play more. But it's doing some very interesting and powerful things. Could potentially be doing a lot more too. Okay, so let's go untap the Nykthos, but then before we activate it again, crack this and draw 2 cards. So I can go Trailblazer into activate Nykthos. So how much mana do I have? I've got 8 mana, so I can't flash back a Storm. Although, with this Kiora, I now should be able to. Sadly, I can't play my Arbor Elf before going Kiora minus. And then... yeah, we should be able to just... I think we may be a little short of bursting. My opponent conceded before I had to do the math, and if I don't have to do the math, I'm not going to do the math. Moon again would have been pretty good. I mean, we have a lot to do. Like, in those kind of spots, I think I like just making as much mana and drawing as much cards as I can before I decide what to do with Karn. That seems to be a pretty good decision point. So I just wasn't even really thinking exactly what we're doing with Karn yet. But yeah, I think we had enough devotion to the loop. The latest and greatest 3 mana Ephemerate Enabler, Flame Hold Grappler. Is that the 2 monks for 1 spell? I guess it doesn't work with the Ephemerate. Homeless, so it's probably not that one. Think of it, Switch Prime. Hope you find a Wizard's Tower soon. I get why you do that. I feel like at a certain point it feels like playing with your food, at least on opponent's side. Well, I mean, it's not like I could like just infinite combo them, you know. This whole deck is make us as much mana and draw as many cards as you can anyways. Titania Springheart's been my obsession days forever. Yeah, the Nautilus Naughty deck, which plays those cards, is pretty nice. Although you basically never put Springheart on Titania. Yeah, I saw Dragonfire Blade. That card is pretty cool. Actually, two good equipment in this set. I really like the Monastery Mentor 2-drop. That card is like very exciting. I don't know how good it'll be, but I really want it to be good. Oh, I see Panda. The Jessica creature says ETB copy your next spell. Okay, I haven't seen this card. If you want to link it, let me know. I haven't read it. Yeah, hopefully it's hard to get Wizard Towers suited up with internet. All right, Sprawl or Kiora. So next turn, I'm going to have 4 mana after I play my land, so that's going to be 1 short of Trailblazer into a 4-drop, but that is enough to go Kiora into Trailblazer or Troll. Can I talk about the decision of Troll over Polukranos Reborn or Llanowar Tribe? Yes. For one, Llanowar Tribe is just out. It doesn't have 4 power. We're really built around Kiora, Trailblazers, Fanatic of Rhonas having 4 power, can't play Tribe, and Polukranos dies to removal spell. It's also legendary, so bad at multiples, but Ogre Troll is something you just actively want to block with, actively want to die, which is something that is very valuable on your 3 mana spell in Modern. Typically it's a problem to play 3 mana spells that just get 1-for-1 by like Fatal Push and Unholy Heat and Galvanic Discharge. Okay, Kiora is like a silly good card against us. So they reveal it's a fairy hero of Dominaria here. Alright, let's go for Trailblazer into Fanatic of Rhonas. Dude, Grappler's got sick art. She literally has the 9-tail firearms. It's so cool. Okay, when this creature enters, copy the next spell you cast this turn. When you cast it, you may choose new targets for the copy. This creature enters, copy the next spell you cast this turn when you cast it. So it doesn't go infinite with Ephemerate, right? Zeke with the 36 months, welcome back. Wait, Brandy Sandy got a spoiler? That's awesome. That's so cool. I finished Brandy's second book in the Stormlight Archive yesterday. Really liked it. And then my friend gave me the novella that's in between books 3 and 4. That's like 200 pages that I'm going to start today. Not Initiate, but getting to Ephemerate off a rebound and then Hardcast Soul. Yeah, maybe. This card is, I think, kind of complicated, but I definitely would like to mess around with it. I also like with Savine's Reclamation. Like, you could Savine's Reclamation this, or you can copy a Savine's Reclamation. That could be interesting. So hopefully I can kill the Narset. Wait, Spike, you don't need to read... Don't you need to read WOR before Esjancer? Oh, yeah, Words of Radiance is the one I just finished reading. I finished reading... what was the first one? Way of Kings. I've read Stormlight Archive. My friend Alex is just coaching me all this, so I don't know everything. But then he told me to read this next, and then once I do that, I can read the book after Words of Radiance. I played versus this for Deep Forest Hermit. Interesting. And Tribute to the World Tree over Kiora, which puts 16 power of battlefield, 1 storm. I guess it hits... Yeah, this is probably more of like a stompy build, maybe? Deep Forest Hermit, that's a card I want to read again. It's been a long time since I've even like thought about that card. It's kind of cool. I think that's cool with Tribute to the World Tree. So it makes basically 7 power. What is this? Orm's Chant? Oh, no. Or I guess I can Eternalize Fanatic. So that's not so bad. Wait, the Jeskai Monk copies any spell? What the heck? That's crazy, dude. Okay, Tarkir is the best standard system of all time. I'm over Ugin. Who cares? Yeah, a lot of people said Book 3 was their favorite in the series, so I'm pretty excited for it. In fact, I kind of don't want to read this novella, but I'm trusting my friend Alex, who got me into the series. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I missed that, Four Dogs. Obviously, the cards, there's a lot going on. Alright, they found a prismatic ending. Pre-ban Ugin. I think it would just... If they banned K-Command or Ugin's Labyrinth, I don't think it'd be much to worry about. And also, like, if Ugin is problematic, it's something we can... we can cross that bridge. Okay, I guess we're pretty cooked, though. Probably just go for... I was thinking Green Sun for Titania. Let's go... Let's cast a Storm. Not very likely to resolve. I think I'll scoop if this gets countered. Yeah, let's keep the show on the road here. This seems like a card I might enjoy. Jeskai Revelation. 7 mana. Return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Jeskai Revelation deals 4 damage to any target. Make 2 Monks with Prowess. Draw 2 cards. Gain 4 life. Torrential Gearhulk, Take Me Home. It's kind of interesting with that Harmonized Teamer card, too. Like, it just... Yeah, I understand that it's 7 mana, so you'll have to cheat it into play somehow. Hellraiser, maybe. Needs Uncounterable or Storm to be playable. Well, if it was Storm, it would be broken, but... I agree that this card is probably not going to make big waves in the modern format, but it's cool. It is something to think about. Maybe Rumble first here. Okay, we can Eternalize that Fanatic, so take the Nykthos. Kind of a 2-for-1. Return spell or permanent. You can bounce a land. 4 damage to any target. 2 Monks of Prowess. Draw 2, gain 4. Pretty cool. Don't know why they're main phasing the Solitude. They could draw a different card they want to pitch to the Solitude, right? So next turn we're going to go Trailblazer Fanatic, probably. Maybe we would Eternalize the Fanatic, although that'd be pretty bad into a Teferi. Okay, they're not holding up counter spell. They graveyarded another Teferi, so I don't... I feel like it is likely they have another one, because I don't think they would... I guess they would graveyard this if they were missing a land. Logan with the 16 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Definitely feeling that mulligan, not having that other Rumble in my hand here. But Eternalizing this Fanatic at the very least, like, lets me trigger Trailblazer. Love Trailblazer now. Persist Gearhulk Ultimatum seems funny. Yeah, this is funny. I do love Torrential Gearhulk. That's, like, probably a top 30 card of mine of all time, and... be pretty cool to play it again. So I think we start, well, yeah, let me just start here, because I might not want to cast the Green Sun into a counterspell. Now I believe the Fanatic has no mana value for Nykthos. So, see if we can dodge Supreme Verdict. Wrath Disguise would be pretty good too, I guess. I feel like this is going to be the Cosmic Rebirth on Teferi, maybe? Okay, just a regular Teferi. Bounce my token. So, probably going to try to Green Sun for Titania here. What's this? Prismatic Hitting on a Sprawl? They must have just drawn the pending because they would have probably exiled the token. Maybe not. I was playing Boros Energy when I splashed blue for Consign or played Molten Rains. I think I like the Molten Rain tech. I don't think I love it though. If that makes sense. Definitely seems fine. I guess I'll say I'm not sure. But I would lean towards Molten Rain. Alright, so we get our Titania, draw a card. Return Windswept Heath. We can crack that to draw a card. We can also play Nykthos to draw another card. I think I'll just put this trigger on the stack first. Play it a little bit safer. Oh, so I guess I should have cast this Trailblazer before cracking this fetch. Maybe we play the Storm. Maybe it's a little greedy to cast Storm here instead of just going Karn for Winter Moon, but we can still Karn for Winter Moon, so that's good news. And draw 3 cards here. I guess. I think I'm just going to cast the Moon. Let's not go too crazy. Maybe they have March again? Seems like we're still doing pretty good if they have it. Do you have any ideas, plans for Eldrazi turns? I think just wait till the BNR and see what happens. Try Ugin in it, probably. They do have the March? I just want to Winter Moon somebody. I guess I mean, it's not so bad to 2 for 1 them, put them there's 2 cards in their hand. They pitch a Hero of Dominaria. They've got 2 cards in their hand. They didn't cast Supreme Verdict this turn. If they do cast Supreme Verdict this turn, they're pretty cooked. Alright. 2-0. Yeah, 3 Nykthoses is like 1 too many Nykthos. Don't like this hand. I think if we keep it instead of go to 5, I'd probably mulligan this if it were a 7. Which never really feels great. So, hoping that they hold up Counterspell next turn, and then we can just plot the Trailblazer. That would be pretty ideal. Do not want to see a frog. Okay, love to see that one. Now, if they play Frog, it's good, because we can just go Trailblazer into Kiora, untap Trailblazer. Draw 2 cards. Nice. Funny how that changed. Okay, so Trailblazer. Make a mana. Cast a Kiora. Hopefully no force of negation. Boo. Do you have any predictions of the post-breach ban meta? I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly what people are going to do. I think they're going to mostly be playing their same decks, and then I think Belcher and Ruby Storm seem like Belcher, Ruby Storm, and Brood Scale seem probably like the 3 decks that are going to be trying to take Breach's place in this current metagame. I think the Ketchamos builds will get worse and worse as people build their decks with less and less enablers for Ketchamos. And we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah, Mox Jasper breaks the format, of course. Yeah, your pet deck will be broken. All will be well. 4 cards in their hands. Why did they have to have the Force of Negation, dude? I think if we got the option to play around counter magic here, we should. I guess attacking first would have been better, though. They discard a Spell Snare, which is interesting. What if I drew a Rumble? Maybe they have another Snare. Dealful mentioned wanting Baleful Strix in Modern. I don't think I'm very passionate about Strix, I guess. It sure is a card that's pretty iconic. I think it does not... I think with Mox Opal being legal, with attacking and blocking already being not very incentivized, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like a card that makes things better, but I just don't have a strong opinion. So down to 11, we have 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana. Maybe I should cast the Troll first, because if it's countered, I kind of leave this one back. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like Strix improves gameplay at all. And all the cards that I have wanted to unban, I think Pod, Jite, Ponder, Deathwitch Shaman, I think all of these would make modern gameplay overall better. Although I think you can make counter arguments to a lot of these too. But that is at least my goal with unbans. So we're dead to the Frog next turn. And it seems unlikely that we can get out from under this. Strix and Kaito would be fun. Okay, they're tapping out for stock up. That's good news. So we have a chance to draw a Karn, a Storm the Festival. I guess Green Sun Zenith doesn't really do anything. If we had another Surveil land, we could maybe Surveil looking for Storm. We don't have that. Tough Force of Negation on the Kiora. Let's go to game 2. Why is Strix playable but Kodo ain't? Well, it has Death Touch on turn 2. It's an artifact from Mox Opal and Urza. And it does something on turn 2 instead of turn 3. And it's an artifact, which is a huge upside on the card. Yeah, this card is very interesting. This is like the most borderline, I don't know if this card is playable card I've maybe ever seen. It's either gonna, I don't know. So let's just say, just imagine this card is always 4 mana for 2/2/3 flying lifelinkers. Is that good? I just genuinely don't know. It's so hard to evaluate. The Ponder unban was controversial. They argued it would be too strong of a cantrip and make game take long. I think that's Boomer Magic take. Yeah, I think it's not too strong a cantrip. Cantrips suck in Modern. Like Preordained is like basically not a playable card. It's very fringe playable. Like sometimes like Breach plays it sometimes. I don't even think it's good in Breach. It's like Breach Preordained has seen very little plays at the unban. Ponder is better than Preordained for sure. My main argument against Ponder for a long time has been that that I've seen people take 2 minutes to resolve a Ponder, and I think that that's a bit annoying. That being said, my ban list philosophy has just started to change. I think that unbans are a really good way to get some classic, not broken, iconic cards back in the mix, to have a new modern format identity be about the old cards with and against the new cards. I think that this has been a good dynamic with the looting Opal Green Sun unban, and I think it will continue to be a good dynamic going forward. Okay, no Dryad Arbors here. Preordained is barely playable. It's a very hot take. I feel like that is just completely accurate. I don't even know how you could disagree, if I'm going to be quite honest, but I'd love to hear your counter argument. Actually, let me not Green Sun for a Arbor, because I just want to play the Fanatic next turn anyways. Like Thought Scour and Consider are like mostly better cantrips because of the graveyard synergies. Preordain has objectively, provably, just not seen almost any play the entire time it's been legal. Am I just been misimagining? It just does not see much play. What are we talking about? Same point Prof and Jesse make in the recent video. Bring back some classics, equal or underpowered. Yeah, I agree. This is something I like too. So there's a Frog. Hopefully, if we just get Frog into Forced again, it's pretty bad. Although I guess here we could just go second Fanatic into Old Growth Troll and play around the Forest. That seems kind of nice. Murktide! Okay, command takes longer to resolve than Ponder. So here's something I encourage you to, when talking about Magic cards and talking about anything in life, to not go... when talking about something that's problematic, like how long Ponder takes to resolve, if instead of going, well, this other card is problematic too, it just takes more energy. You know what I mean? It's like I think it's just better to be like, to either agree or disagree on a single point and then move on to a different thing instead of using another problematic card. And K-Command is one of the most problematic cards in Modern, to justify something else coming into the format. It's just not a good argument. It's kind of played out. One thing being bad does not justify another thing being bad. How much better is Preordain except Surveil 2 instead of Scry 2? It's probably broken. Probably broken. Is it finally time for the least played Force to come out? Force of Rage. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, like, Force of Rage could do. The win rate from Eldrazi is not broken yet. Yeah, I understand. Like, K-Command is, like, a huge... Like, we've been talking about this for a long time, but the win rate of Eldrazi does seem to be, like, pretty directly proportional to how many K-Commands you draw. It's like... how many K commands did you draw? It's just like the higher that number is, the higher your win rate is basically every time, it seems. Probably might block the Frog with the Fanatic if they don't jump it. Yeah, Force of Rage is not a card I've ever cast. I've barely ever cast Force of Despair too. Some people really like that card. 0 on the top, 2 on the bottom. What would a good one-mana cantrip look like to you if Ponder is too strong and Preordain is too weak? My argument is not that Ponder is too strong. I'm advocating for Ponder unban. I think the biggest argument against a Ponder unban, which I think is valid, is that it takes too long to resolve. I think that's a valid point to make. But I am in favor of a Ponder unban. Opponent's been jumping the Frog pretty aggressively. I'm going to upkeep Surveil also. Ponder seems super annoying in frog decks. Oh, my opponent's playing Preordain. Typically, like, I would think Consider is better than Ponder or Preordain, being instant and filling up your graveyard. For whatever this is worth. Like the fact that Ponder is probably still the second best cantrip in these decks is a big part of the reason why I want it unbanned. Stock up. Brainstorm is also a card for Modern. No, of course not. No, I see. I missed the lull. Draw a card. So we got to put it down to 9. I'm at 10, which means that I'm dead to a stock up. Because that gives them enough to play the frog. Unless they counter this, then I'm not dead to a stock up. Did you know Dingo only sleeps in jeans? I did know that, yeah. Am I dead to a Bowmaster? I don't think I'm dead to a Bowmaster. Okay, a counterspell. Third counterspell. That's this game just frog, subtlety up, frog, force up, just so hard to beat. So now I'm not dead to stock up. Do you think instant Preordain would be strong enough? I'm not trying to buff Preordain. If a Preordain with Surveil is also incredibly broken, but like I think let's just unban Ponder. I think Ponder would be really fine. I don't actually think that the how slow it takes to resolve is that big a deal, especially because most of them don't actually take that long. But I think that's the biggest argument against it. So Kaito stun counter. All right, big top deck. Big top deck. See if they have a second Force of Negation. Dude, when Frog does this, it's like, it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. And I really like this new post-ring dynamic we have in Modern where there isn't a clear best card draw spell. People are playing stock up. I have Outcaster Trailblazer in my hand. There's Ketchamos, which is really good, but has big deck building restrictions. There's Necro, which is good, but has big deck building restrictions. There's not just one card that you play as the card advantage card TM. And like Dig Through Time, Uro would be those cards. How's the BBQ area? Anything I really like? I don't know. I've never been a big BBQ guy. DFW is pretty famous for it. I've been eating vegetarian for like 2 months now. Which has been doing wonders for my health. Sprawl on red here. All right, let's go plotting. So yeah, not a big BBQ guy. Deathred Shaman would be such a card too, no, right? I don't know which. I've said a lot of things for dogs. I don't know what you're responding to. I think that gameplay with Deathred Shaman is quite good. I think it would be a modern staple, but it wouldn't be like the de facto, I guess it would be the de facto best mana dork. That is true. But I think I did just say it. I do believe that if Modern is about Deathrite Shaman, if that Deathrite Shaman is a big important thing in the format, I think that that's not a bad thing. Okay, so I have 3, 4, 5 mana. What am I doing for protein? Protein shake, protein bar, yogurt, edamame, beans, tofu. What do you have for B vitamins? There's a lot of it in one of the protein drinks I have, and Esther also has this other drink that I tried for the first time yesterday that I didn't really like. Yeah, I'm still eating eggs too. Just like the meat was like, it was like inflaming my GERD so bad. It's just like had such bad digestion stuff. Been feeling so much better. Best mana dork, best card advantage. Deathred Shaman is not best card advantage. This is silly. Then all games would be about 1 mana, 1/2. It doesn't have the decency to have 1 toughness. This is the thing. If all the games are about a 1 mana, 1/2, those are games I want to play, I think. This is kind of exactly what I'm getting at, is that sounds way better than when games are around Underworld Breach or around Flage, Arena of Glory, or Nadu, or Eldrazi Temple Ayavugan. This is kind of just exactly my point. I know they have K-Command. I think I'm toast to it. Let's go to game 2. Turn 2 Ketchamos of Shaman, which triggers the following turns, can be frustrating. Honestly, if this is what Modern's about, I'm really happy. I've just been thinking about this. I think this is a problematic, potentially, Shaman into Ketchamos. If this is what Modern's about, I think it's a good thing. I think these Ketchamos decks are super fucking beatable, as it turns out. And like, the way people like to build them, too, are just so dirtily as well. And I actually do think that this, to me, this sounds like a good direction to lead the format, just in general. Okay, I think I'm putting back the Fanatic of Rhonas here. Could turn 3 Storm, maybe. Does Necro need a mana dork? So there's actually some interesting tension with, like, Necro and Shaman, like, turning off your own graveyard. It's probably not that big a deal, obviously. Shaman goes after opposing graveyards, too. You just always have the Dismember, huh? Not sure. I think I'm going to graveyard that. But, you know, also, like, has anyone ever... I'm played Halfling into Necro? Like, this has been... Like, you've been able to go Halfling into uncounterable Necro for a long time now. This has been an option to you. And I've basically never seen anybody do it. I've never done it myself. I don't know how different this gameplay is exactly. Okay, it's obviously a great draw. But there's also, like, a lot of safety valves on Deathrite Shaman. Like Flage is really good against any 1 or 2 mana creature that just dies to it, especially because you can stack the triggers where Shaman can't exile it. K-Command is very good against Deathrite Shaman. The Bombardment Dexter should be pretty good against it. It's just, like... There's more better 1-mana removal spells that existed than when it was legal last time. Opponents, chill with the triple removal spell. Halfling isn't a black card, which is a pretty big deal. Yeah, for sure. Like, obviously, Deathrite Shaman is better than the Delighted Halfling. I maybe need to say that, but I'm just wondering if anybody has done that. Bombardment has trouble with 2 toughest Planeswalker, but Goblin Bombardment is good against Deathrite Shaman. I think it's fine. Johnny's very good against Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, I'm just asking if anybody has played that deck. I'm not trying to say that Halfling is on the same power level, of course. All right, let's play for the 3-2. Brutal. I know that you like to play Goblin Bombardment and Zombies, which would be worse than, but Boros is pretty happy to kill high-quality 2-toughness creatures with Bombardment, in my opinion. No, there's no Deathrite Shaman confirmation. I just think it would be a good one. What was the last 5-color deck I tried to modern? I'm not sure. It's definitely been a while. How did you also probably make an extra body? Shaman blocks Pride all day. Okay, well, if Shaman blocks Pride, your Bombardment gets to ping it for just 1 creature. You know, this is all... Shaman is also easy to kill out of Boros. You also can just have Guide of Souls to make an extra body off of Ocelot Pride. So it's not that... That's the only way to make tokens. Like, this is just... Where did the creature come with Guide of Souls? I don't know. Like, this shouldn't be... I shouldn't have to say this... Goblin Bombardment is good against 2 toughness creatures also out of Boros. And why are we even arguing about this? This is just such a silly thing to argue about, 4 dogs. This is 4 mana solution to a 1 mana problem, and they use it to go to 3. But it's while you're proactively making your game plan happen and with card advantage. To call it a 4 mana solution to 1 mana problem is silly, especially when you have also Flage and Discharge, which, like, Discharge just interacts very favorably with Shaman. You get an extra energy too. Like what? All right, I just don't understand how you're talking about this like this. I guess we're playing Fanatic. It's not card advantage. Spending 2 bodies to answer 1 creature disadvantage. No, Four Dogs, I literally am just shocked. Like, the Onslaught Pride is generating creatures. You turn those creatures into removal. That's card advantage. That's card advantage. How I just don't understand how this is how we're still having this argument. Like, what? I'm just doesn't make any sense. So I guess I keep this so I can go Green Sun for Trailblazer, cast Old Growth Troll. No, I just don't want the extra mana or need the extra mana. Need action. Okay, thankfully I don't have the extra or third land to Flicker Wisp the Overlord right now. They could have a discharge, which would be pretty bad. Do I attack for 1? I guess there's not much reason not to. So let's see if they grab Solitude to get rid of my Trailblazer. We still have a lot of mana, but that makes my ability to like churn through things a bunch tougher. They do return Solitude, but my Trailblazer is still in play. And so now I have a Karn. This is 13 mana. So just Karn for Leveler seems like kind of just the easy answer here. But Karn for Stonebrain seems like the actual choice. Sorry, not Stonebrain. Portal to Phyrexia. Let me make sure I have enough. Yeah, I just have exactly enough mana for that. We could have Green Sun for a 7-drop the turn. Yeah, so we could. No, could we have? I guess we could have got Troll into Green for 7. I had a Terastodon in the deck last night that I didn't exactly like that much. But I don't know if you want to be playing something big like that, but you could. You go Pride, opponent goes Shaman. How are you going to kill a Bombardment before they get to untap? If the converse here is, well, later in the game, I have all the top deck Shaman, then who cares? So play every opponent to run nothing but Shaman the deck. Okay, Four Dogs, we need to move on. I sincerely, I thought it would be easy to grasp the fact that Goblin Bombardment is good against 2 toughness creatures. There will be situations where it doesn't line up super well. This should be like the coldest, like just not complicated take ever. I don't know why you need to get so argumentative over it. And you could disagree, that's okay, but we're going to move on. Okay, so I'm going to get Umbral Mantle to make infinite mana with my Storm of the Festival, I guess. Oh, also just infinite damage. This is like Pioneer Mono Green Devotion, but for Modern. Yeah. There's honestly not that much overlap, right? So you have the Trailblazers, the Trolls, the Kioras. Wait, did they ban Karn on Pioneer? They banned... What was the... Yeah, they banned Karn in Pioneer, didn't they? So that's funny. And the Storms, but, you know, this whole package is Modern exclusive. I guess this too now. Yeah, it's of course fine to disagree about Magic cards. Never personal. Swords Pioneer. Okay, I didn't mean to drag it over. Yeah, game plan is pretty similar. The big thing that this is a Dryad Arbor. The big thing that maybe I should put that back actually. That I really want to show off is like the loops with Titania. Titania has just been so interesting. The way it like comes down, resets Nykthos, makes multiple 5/3s that draw cards with the Trailblazers and the Kioras. That dynamic has been really cool. I've even been thinking that potentially it's better to play more Titanias too. Alright, I need my Deathray Shaman. Ever tried the super jump of Inamoto? I haven't even heard of that. I don't know what the super jump is. Alright, to game 3 we go. Pretty fast. Yeah, Mana Trader is sabotaging me with this version of Arbor. Yeah, it's kind of souped up Cavalier of Thorns. It's just so tough to play a million 5-drops in the deck. Could just be right to even, like... You could maybe even just be like, instead of the Storms, you could play 4 Titania, and then you could play 1 big payoff for Green Sun. I don't know if that's Craterhoof Behemoth or Terastodon. Like, Terastodon plus a big board usually wins the game. I feel like Shaman is too powerful. Modern is very banned Ragavan a few years ago, adjacent. Yeah. It's just the format, like... I would just love... Oh, also, this is the Obosh build, which is pretty cool. I would just love to feel like Deathrite Shaman is, like, a scary card in Modern again. Like these were, you know, in with our clarity of hindsight and our retrospect, I think these were just the good days. Like, I think gameplay is really cool when it's about, like, cheap creatures and, like, sequencing your spells in a meaningful way and getting 1-for-1s and 2-for-1s and maneuvering around your opponent instead of... You know, I execute my game plan versus you execute your game plan. And some of it lines up well and some of it doesn't. I think Shaman is too scary in Modern. Yeah, I think it could be. Of course, I should say this. They should not unban anything without extensive playtesting. Not that it seems like they necessarily do that, but they shouldn't. Shock with the 44 months. Thank you, welcome back. Anxious for what may or may not happen on Monday. I think it'll be fine. But we'll see. Could be cube streamers. Okay, goodbye Rumble. Definitely really wanted that. We have a lot of good 3s and 2s to draw here. A Utopia Sprawl, I guess, is the best draw because it lets me cast a Karn. Oh, never mind. I missed the times where decks were allowed to be complex. KCI was peak Modern gameplay. Well, Amulet Titan's pretty complex. Okay, gotta graveyard that. Dreadhorde combos with Arena of Glory. Yeah, we've played Dreadhorde Arena of Glory. We even went on like a crazy like double trophy streak with it. Professor's video harps on a lot of the same points you make, but he gives credit to WotC for playtesting, so maybe he knows they do. Yeah, it's my impression that like it doesn't seem like they do, or that it doesn't seem like they playtest Modern enough. Like, there's no chance they like, you know, like at least with MH3, like there was certainly, without being mean to anybody, of course, there was certainly something wrong with their playtest method for Modern Horizons 3. I don't know exactly what that was, dude. They have only 1 card in their hand, and I drew a Fanatic. It's just kind of like the best thing we can do if we draw 1 more land. Okay. I think specifically in the video he's talking about testing the unbans. They should definitely test the unbans. To my knowledge, they don't. I hope that they should. I hope they do. I don't know what that process is like. We're going to play more Modern after this. I think we're probably pivoting to the backup deck. Okay. So, backup deck is something that I've been messing with for a while. This is Necrobelcher. This is a deck we worked on a long time ago.